In this video, I will tell you about the bad adaptations by Netflix. But first, I have a challenge for you. Only 5% of viewers will be able to like and subscribe to the channel before time runs out. 3, 2, 1. Comment done if you manage to do it in time. The Witcher. Blood Origin, 2022. Set in the universe of The Witcher, Blood Origin explores the ancient history of the continent, focusing on the creation of the first Witcher and the events leading up to the conjunction of the spheres. The story spans several centuries and follows a diverse cast of characters, including elves, dwarves, and humans, as they navigate political intrigue, conflicts, and the rise of monster hunters. The series aims to expand the lore behind the Witcher universe, but ultimately centers around a secretive group attempting to prevent a catastrophic event. One of the main issues with Blood Origin was its weak storytelling. Critics argued that the plot was convoluted and lacked coherence, making it difficult for viewers unfamiliar with the lore to follow. The narrative was overly ambitious, attempting to cover too much ground in 6 episodes, resulting in superficial character development and rushed storylines. Many fans felt that the series failed to capture the depth and complexity of the original Witcher books and games. Additionally, the characters lacked depth, and their motivations were often unclear or poorly explained. The visual effects and production design, while generally praised, couldn't compensate for the weak storytelling, leaving viewers disappointed. The Sandman, 2022. Based on Neil Gaiman's acclaimed comic series, The Sandman follows Dream, also known as Morpheus, the anthropomorphic personification of dreams, as he navigates the mortal and immortal worlds to repair the damage caused during his centuries of imprisonment. The series interweaves various storylines involving gods, demons, witches, and mortals, exploring themes of power, responsibility, and change. Each episode adapts different arcs from the comic, aiming to bring the dark, poetic universe to life. Despite praise for its visual effects and faithfulness to the source material in terms of aesthetics, The Sandman faced criticism for its inconsistent pacing and narrative coherence. Some fans felt that the adaptation failed to fully capture the depth of Gaiman's storytelling, especially in terms of character development and thematic exploration. Certain episodes felt disconnected, and the pacing was uneven, with some storylines feeling rushed while others dragged. Critics also pointed out that the series relied heavily on visual spectacle at the expense of emotional resonance and character depth. Furthermore, some viewers felt that the adaptation was too superficial, missing subtle nuances present in the comic series. Cowboy Bebop, 2021. A live-action adaptation of the legendary 1998 anime, Cowboy Bebop, follows a ragtag crew aboard the spaceship Bebop as they hunt bounties across a futuristic, dystopian solar system. The series centers on Spike Spiegel, Jet Black, Faye Valentine, and others as they grapple with their pasts, personal demons, and the challenges of their dangerous profession. The show aims to modernize the classic anime's stylish aesthetic and complex characters for a new audience. The most significant issue with Cowboy Bebop was its departure from the original tone and style. Fans criticized the series for failing to capture the anime's unique blend of noir, jazz, and existential themes. The live-action format struggled with pacing, often feeling rushed or uneven, and some episodes lacked the charm and depth of the source. The casting was also controversial, with some actors receiving criticism for their portrayals. Additionally, the series suffered from tonal inconsistencies, shifting awkwardly between action, humor, and drama, which undercut the narrative's cohesion. Critics argued that the adaptation focused too much on style at the expense of substance, resulting in a shallow experience that disappointed longtime fans. Vikings. Valhalla, 2022. Set a century after the original Vikings, Vikings Valhalla chronicles the adventures of legendary Norse figures like Leif Erikson, Freydis Eiríksdóttir, and Harald Hardrada. The series explores the tumultuous period of Viking expansion, invasions, and political upheaval, emphasizing themes of loyalty, conquest, and faith. Despite its high production values, Vikings Valhalla drew criticism for its weak character development and predictable plotlines. Many viewers felt that the series relied too heavily on action sequences at the expense of storytelling depth. The characters were somewhat stereotypical, lacking complex motivations or growth. Critics also noted that the series did not significantly differentiate itself from the original Vikings in terms of narrative or thematic innovation. The dialogue was often cliché, and the historical accuracy was sometimes questionable, which detracted from immersion. Ultimately, it was seen as a superficial reboot lacking the nuance that made the original series compelling. Resident Evil, 2022. This Netflix series reboots the Resident Evil franchise, depicting a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by the Umbrella Corporation's deadly experiments. The story follows Jade and Billy Wesker, daughters of the infamous Albert Wesker, as they navigate a world overrun by zombies and bioengineered monsters. The series explores their struggles with their past, their relationship, and the fight for survival amid corporate conspiracies and genetic horrors. Critics and fans alike found Resident Evil underwhelming due to significant deviations from the source material and poor execution. The plot was criticized for being convoluted, with numerous subplots that failed to converge meaningfully. The characters were poorly developed, with many viewers feeling that Jade and Billy lacked depth or motivation. The series also suffered from inconsistent tone shifts, oscillating between horror, action, and melodrama without coherence. The special effects, while decent, couldn't salvage the weak writing and character arcs. Fans expressed disappointment that the series did not live up to the tension and atmosphere of the original games and films, feeling it was a missed opportunity to revitalize the franchise. 13 Reasons Why, 2017 to 2020. 13 Reasons Why follows the story of Hannah Baker, a high school student who dies by suicide and leaves behind a series of cassette tapes explaining the reasons behind her decision. The series explores themes such as bullying, sexual assault, mental health struggles, and the profound impact of personal actions on others. As the narrative unfolds, it reveals the secrets, mistakes, and consequences faced by Hannah's friends and classmates, highlighting the importance of empathy, accountability, and mental health awareness. However, the later seasons faced significant criticism. Season 2 was often criticized for its handling of sensitive topics like sexual assault and mental health, with some viewers feeling that the show sensationalized these issues rather than portraying them responsibly. The graphic depiction of Hannah's assault and the melodramatic portrayal of Bryce's trial were seen as exploitative and lacking nuance. Pacing issues and superficial character development further diminished emotional engagement. Moving into Season 3, the series shifted focus toward a murder mystery surrounding Bryce's death, which many found convoluted and distracting from the core themes. The portrayal of serious issues such as gun violence and mental health was considered superficial and stereotypical, and the tone of the season was inconsistent, oscillating between melodrama and seriousness. The final season faced criticism for prioritizing shock over storytelling depth. The courtroom proceedings and resolution of Bryce's murder felt rushed and unrealistic, diminishing the emotional impact and leaving many plotlines unresolved. The portrayal of mental health and trauma was viewed as superficial or exploitative, lacking the nuance needed for such delicate topics. Overall, the final season was seen as a hurried attempt to conclude the series, which resulted in a lack of genuine emotional closure and left many fans disappointed. Jupiter's Legacy, 2021. Based on Mark Millar's comic series, Jupiter's Legacy follows the first generation of superheroes and their children as they grapple with the legacy of heroism, power, and responsibility. The story portrays a generational conflict, with the aging heroes struggling to pass the torch to their less experienced offspring, who often clash over their differing values and approaches. The main critique of Jupiter's Legacy was its weak character development and uneven pacing. The series tried to juggle multiple storylines, but many characters were underdeveloped, making it hard for viewers to connect with them emotionally. The dialogue was often cliched and the plot was predictable, relying heavily on genre tropes. Visual effects and action sequences were mediocre compared to other superhero productions, and the series lacked the depth and nuance of the original comic. Critics also noted that the series failed to bring fresh perspectives or innovative storytelling, resulting in a shallow and forgettable adaptation. Thanks for watching. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and check out my other videos There's still a lot of interesting stuff. See you later.